Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world.
From the Keith Vincent Carroll Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Hour Media is proud to present Is This Real? Tonight is the start of Season 5. So buckle up, boys and girls. We're going to go and find out what's the deal with D.B. Cooper. Now your host, JC3.
Welcome to Season 5! Hello, everyone. This is Season 5, and Season 5 for Is This Real? We are talking about, what, mysteries? We're talking about more like mysterious people, unsolved events. This is our theme for this season.
Don't do that. I feel like you're about to download a virus.
Okay. In the booth tonight with us, you heard Big Joe in the intro. Dad, say hello to the peeps.
Hello, peeps.
Okay, thanks for being joyful. Mr. West is in the booth. Mr. West, how are you?
I'm here.
He is here. And they're not very joyful tonight. As I'm talking to Big Roblox. What's up, Rody?
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody?
Mr. Roblox in his domestic bliss. How are you feeling, Roblox?
I'm feeling fine. Moving on.
Anywho, tonight we are talking about D.B. Cooper. The case of D.B. Cooper. Now, Dad, since you are the only person that alive when this happened.
Alive. That alive.
You did that
Shut
thing
up.
alive.
So excited that alive.
Since you were the only person in this booth that was alive. Better? Is that better?
Yes, much better.
When this happened, before we get into the story of what actually happened, just give us your memory of what you remember of this case.
Well, let's put it this way. I was 11 years old when this happened, okay? I don't remember much. Over the years, I remember talking, in conspiracy files and conspiracy things, about a guy basically, he on Thanksgiving in 1971, he hijacked a plane, demanded $200,000 from, I believe it was Northwest Airlines, correct me if I'm wrong. He got it, he did in 4 parachutes, and then he decided to let most of the people on the plane off, except for the pilots and whatever.
The people who flew the
took
plane.
off, and then somehow just he went to the back stairs, opened it up, and jumped off, leaving 2 of the parachutes, one chopped up and the other one intact. And then he jumped off the plane with $200,000 somewhere in the Midwest. Somewhere in the Northwest, and hasn't been seen from or heard from since. And no one really knows his name. He bought his ticket, I believe, under the
Dan Cooper
for $20, and that was it.
Plane ticket for $20.
That's the last we see. But over time, it's taken on a life of its own, where $5,000 of the money was recovered in the Seattle Northwest, I believe it's Seattle Northwest, and it was split between the some with Northwest Airlines and some the FBI took for analysis, and then the kid who found it was given his share as well. And it did correspond with the money that was given, because the money was marked, the serial numbers were marked and traced, and and then in subsequent years, these theories have come out about this guy, who he was.
I want to get more into that now. Josh, basically, I think Dad just told us the complete story.
Well, not really.
No, I can fill in little gaps here and there. I mean, I can go through it real quick. It's really a quick rundown. As Dad said, on November 24th, 1971, a man calling himself Dan Cooper approached the counter of the Northwest Orient Airlines in Portland, Oregon. He used cash to buy a one-way ticket. The flight number was 305. It was bound for Seattle, Washington. So during the flight, the gentleman asked the stewardess for a drink. As she came back, he had a cachet case, and he showed her a quick glimpse of it with a note saying, "I have a bomb, so you better do as I say." So she does. She sits down next to him. I believe he writes down some information. She gets up and goes towards the cockpit. We later found out that he demanded 4 parachutes, as Dad mentioned, and $200,000 in $20 bills specifically. The flight actually landed in Seattle first. The hijacker exchanged 36 passengers, to be exact, for the money and parachutes. Cooper kept several crew members, and the plane took off again. The course was actually set for Mexico City, but somewhere between Seattle and Reno at about 8 p.m., the hijacker, as Dad said, jumped out the back of the plane with the parachute and the ransom money.
That motherfucker jumped.
Yeah, apparently the pilots landed safely. Apparently the pilots landed safely, but Cooper had disappeared into the night. So the FBI learned of the crime. They opened up an investigation. It was nicknamed NORJAC, or Northwest Hijacking. They've interviewed hundreds of people across the nation, scoured the aircraft for evidence, which, if I saw correctly, the only evidence they really did find was a specific black JCPenney tie that did have some DNA on it. Official reports stated that they considered more than 800 suspects and eliminated all but 24 from consideration. And just a little tidbit, the DB actually came as a myth created by the press.
Yeah,
Because-
it was a miscommunication between the press because they
Yes.
had the thing that said Dan Cooper, and I guess they put DB on one of the press releases.
Yeah.
And that's where we got DB Cooper from.
Well, also, it's because they did question a man whose initials were DB. So that miscommunication you said, I think that's where it came from. So he was branded DB Cooper, even though that actual person with the initials DB was not the hijacker.
That motherfucker was minding his own business in his living room in underwear and shit. FBI came, busted down the door, and said, "Come with us." I swear.
In
that's
his
what,
underwear.
No, I know that's what happened.
He was there.
I know that's what happened.
He was there.
He was there.
I was there.
So the hijacking and the disappearance of the man remains a mystery even to this day.
Yeah.
So-
And we also have.
I may not believe me, but I was really there, though.
Yes, and mentally, metaphysically, all of that.
All of it. All of it.
I know. I know a lot of people would
It was
probably.
crazy.
A lot of people would know where this case is if they saw the picture or the drawing of DB Cooper, because it's everywhere in conspiracy theory law. And as far as like conspiracy theories, and a lot of people, especially like you have TikTok and YouTube now, there's a lot. Well, YouTube not so much. You don't have a lot of conspiracy theories on YouTube anymore because they banned a lot of that.
Yeah, you got to go to BitChute.com for that. Sorry, I had to get that out there.
But they do have it on TikTok, and they do have these little TikToks and stuff like that of
Venmo,
like conspiracy theories.
Vimo might have that shit.
Vimo might have it too, but
Daily Motion, that's another one. That's the
DB Cooper.
That's the
If you
undercover
don't
one.
know what DB Cooper, like the screenshot of DB Cooper or the drawing of DB Cooper, it's like a plain white guy with shades on. That's exactly what it looks like. Like a middle-aged 45 to 50-year-old white guy with sunglasses. And once
they
you
said
see
he
that,
was, they said he was nice as pie on his plane. I mean, he talked to people.
excuse me,
He actually ordered dinner for him. I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off, but just throwing that out there.
no, it's not even that. It's like the George Carlin joke, the Civil War. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me.
Pardon me.
Put this in a bag for me, please.
Oof.
Yeah, it's I don't know. This case, there's a lot of I think with him jumping and vanishing. Obviously, that's going to promote conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of conspiracy theories over the years about who D.B. Cooper is. But they haven't really proven anything yet. In fact, the FBI actually shut down the case, or what do they call it? Close the case.
Yeah.
In 2016.
Suspended it.
I mean, because they probably thought that he died by that time. Because this was like a what?
1971?
71.
And the guy was like 40 or something like that?
So you're talking 50 years. So yeah, he'd be 90.
Yeah, no, he.
I mean, he could still be alive.
You know what? He could. You know what? I don't know.
Just imagine, but the guy on the deathbed is like, I was D.B. Cooper.
Well, that's one of the theories too, that he didn't survive that fall because he wasn't a trained paratrooper. By how he did
there's a
things.
lot of, and I guess I'll get into mine after the break first because I think that would be, who it was. Okay, so we'll take our first break right now, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Anthony from Multimedia Mafia. If you love what we do and you want to know more about us, head on over to greenarrowmedia.org. On there, you're going to find links to both Multimedia Mafia's show and our sister show, Is This Real?, which is all about conspiracies and aliens and all sorts of wonderful stuff like that. If you want to support us, head on over to our merch page where you can buy a hat or a mug. We have lots of different designs and cool colors. If you want to meet us, we got pictures up there. We have a little biography, and you can even stream the show right through the website. And hey, don't forget to check out our YouTube link where you can check out all the filming that we do right on our YouTube page. Check us out, greenarrowmedia.org.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Hogs to win seal. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
Hello, hola, konnichiwa. I have a very important question for you. Is this real? That's the motto of our weekly podcast. We question everything from the paranormal to conspiracies, even the extraterrestrials. There's no topic we won't dive into. So tune in and listen to our show every Sunday at 8 p.m. And remember, folks, question everything.
And welcome back. So we are talking about D.B. Cooper.
He jumped.
Thank you, Eric. And Eric was there metaphysically.
Case closed.
Case closed. He knows who he is.
I don't. No, I don't.
What do you think, the FBI is going to come and question you?
They might.
Where's the aliens?
Anywho, so I have in front of me, it says 11 possible conspiracy theories about who D.B. Cooper is. And some of them are actually, I don't know who these people are. Some of them are actually like paratroopers and stuff like that. So,
Did I just see a female's name?
yes,
Why?
we'll get into it.
Yeah, please.
So number one, the guy's name is Jack Colfett.
Who?
Jack Coffelt, whatever the hell you want to call it, was the first person who claimed to be Cooper in 1972. A con man with long criminal history, Coffett was confirmed to have suffered injuries around the same time of the hijacking. However, the FBI found so many inconsistencies in his story, they eliminated him.
The fact that you said that he was a con man already made it like mad sketchy off the rip.
They didn't stop Coffett from peddling his story to major TV networks, who ultimately refused to give him the platform. Number two is Kenneth Christensen. Kenneth Christensen had been a paratrooper and then mechanic and a flight attendant for Northwest Orient Airlines, the airline Cooper targeted. He also resembled the composite sketch of the hijacker. A few months after the hijacking, he supposedly purchased a house with cash. In 2003, his brother Lyle saw a documentary on the Cooper case and became convinced that Kenneth, who died in 1994, was D.B. Cooper. The FBI didn't see enough evidence to investigate Kenneth Christensen, so Lyles tried to shop the story to Nora Ephron for a film, which never happened. It later came out that, unknown to Lyle, Kenneth did not pay cash for his house. But he still paid for fucking...
I'm not gonna lie, bro. That story was mad cool. I was like, damn, yo, he paid for a house in cash. I'm like, yo, it gotta. I'm like, you got me. I was like, yo, it gotta be him.
And he was a paratrooper, and he was a mechanic and a flight attendant for the same airlines.
Exactly. That's
He
what
gotta be that.
I was just
we solved it.
I was like,
DB
yo.
Cooper has been solved. It's
I'm
Kenneth
like-
Christensen.
I'm like, yo, bro. I felt like this was a TV episode. I'm just like, yeah. And then you said, but then you said no cash was bought. I was like, damn, bro. You almost had me.
So number 3, ready? And this one is a long shot, but maybe not. Hold on. Barbara Dayton. Barbara Dayton underwent gender reassignment surgery in 1969 and changed her name from Robert. She later explained to her friends how she pulled off the hijacking by disguising herself as a man and then escaping scrutiny afterwards as a woman. Dayton died in 2002. Her friends Pat and Ken Foreman published The Legend of D.B. Cooper, Death by Natural Causes, revealing that what Dayton had told them years before. The FBI has never taken Dayton seriously as a suspect.
Okay, we'll just blow that off.
They said they never took it
He's
serious.
a woman now? Nah, can't be. It's like, bro, I'll be honest. That's a perfect plan.
I mean,
I'm not.
If you have the features of a man anyway, and then be like, I'm a woman, I can't.
And then if you really look at the, what's it called, the sketch photo, it looked kind of feminine too.
Yeah, you put long hair on that.
You might be convinced.
That's a Barbara.
It could be.
That's a Debbie Brown Cooper.
Okay.
I don't know, but that shit, it could be.
Number 4 is Lynn Doyle Cooper. Lynn Doyle Cooper and his brother Dewey, Max Cooper, had the right name, lived in Oregon, and raised suspicion among their family members about the hijacking in 1971. Their niece Martha cooperated with the FBI and talked to the media in 2011. Martha Cooper, 48, citing memories from when she was 8 years old, first told ABC News this week that she recalled her uncles planning something suspicious just before Thanksgiving 1971 at her grandmother's house in Oregon. My dumbass. I'm like, what the hell is Or? The two used walkie-talkies and left supposedly to go turkey hunting, she said. On Thanksgiving morning, Lynn Doyle Cooper, known to the family as LD, returned to the home bloody and bruised, claiming he had been involved in a car accident, Martha Cooper told ABC News. Martha Cooper, who lived in Spokane at the time, said she overheard LD Cooper say, "We did it. Our money problems are over. We hijacked an airplane." Soon afterwards, the FBI compared the DNA sample they have of the hijacker of that with LD Cooper's daughter. He had already died. There was no match, and the feds dismissed him as a suspect.
It's a little bit more credit than the other ones.
I don't know, but like on top of that too, like we're going off of a 40-year-old woman who is remembering what she at 8 years old.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like.
It's a lot of he said, she said.
Yeah. So I wouldn't believe it, to be honest. It's a good story though.
It is, and I remember seeing this on like History Channel too, like her story. Number 5 is William Gossett. William Gossett was a veteran of the Korean and Vietnam Wars, a survivalist and a parachutist.
My respects to you, sir.
He told his sons and local judge in San Diego that he had committed the 1971 hijacking. Skyjacking, I guess you would call it.
Yes.
His son Greg
He's
recalls...
a sky pirate. I'm not wrong.
His son Greg recalls Gossett having an unusual amount of money at Christmas in 71, and Gossett's physical characteristics matched the descriptions from eyewitnesses. Gossett died in 2003. Galen Cook, who had been investigating the Cooper case on his own for years, decided that Gossett was most likely D.B. Cooper. Cook said that he has provided Gossett's fingerprints and DNA to the FBI, but the agency said there is no evidence to link Gossett with the case. The FBI is just dismissing people left and right, aren't they?
I mean, because they got some type of DNA too, so they could at that point. You got to look at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm. Robert W. Rackstraw. Robert W. Rackstraw was an early suspect in the case due to the series of letters mailed to the FBI shortly after the hijacking, one of which identified Rackstraw. According to Rolling Stones, Rackstraw was a former Special Forces paratrooper, explosive expert, and pilot with about 22 different aliases.
22?
22.
Damn.
I could. So far, this guy sounds very convincing.
He was eliminated as a suspect by the FBI in 1979.
Damn.
His elimination was controversial amongst the investigating agents, and he remained, for many, the most viable suspect in what remains the only unsolved case of air piracy in the United States.
I told you motherfuckers I'm not wrong. He's a sky pirate.
Filmmaker and author Thomas Colbert and a team of investigators studied the evidence for years and decided Rackstraw was their guy. In 2016, Colbert published a book on his theory, The Last Master Outlaw, and produced a documentary on Rackstraw called D.B. Cooper Case Closed for the History Channel. Rackstraw, who lives in California... No. Rackstraw, who lives in California, was approached by reporters in 2017. He neither confirmed nor denied the information, but told reporters to verify their facts. He passed away in 2019. Number 7 is Robert Richard Lepsey. There were no missing persons reported Thanksgiving week in 1971 that fit the description of the hijacker, according to the FBI. But what if it were someone who had already been missing for a while? In 1969, Robert Richard Lepsey was a grocery store manager in Grayling, Michigan, when he disappeared. He left work for lunch and was never seen again.
Damn, son.
He's like, I'm clocking out.
Damn.
Fuck y'all.
We don't know that, though. That man could have been kidnapped or something.
Yeah, we're laughing. Lepsey's car was found a few days later at an airport, unlocked with the keys in the ignition.
Fuck, he really ran away then. He said, fuck this shit, I'm out.
And an investigation revealed with some money missing from the store and a man who caught a flight to Mexico. While researching the case 30 years later, Ross Richardson noticed a strange resemblance between Lepsey and the man known as D.B. Cooper. Could he have disappeared twice? There is no concrete evidence to link the two besides their resemblance and strange stories. So that nobody has found this Robert Richard Lepsey. And D.B. Cooper, he's the Houdini of our time. Jumped out of a plane, said, fuck this shit, I'm out. And then nobody has seen him since. So Robert Richard Lepsey went missing. He said, fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm not clocking back in. And he was like, I'm going for lunch. You know what he was? He said he's going for some milk. But he didn't show...
Continue reading.
He didn't show... He was already at the grocery store.
Nope.
So he couldn't go to the grocery store, so he just said, I'm out.
Just
No?
continue, please.
And they're both missing people now, I guess. Because D.B. Cooper, I guess, would be a missing persons case at this point, too.
It could double as that, but it's more of a, we
It's more
gotta
of a-
find his ass.
It's more of a fugitive, if anything.
Yes.
He's 3. He's a trifecta.
I-
Anywho, number 8 is John List. This is a very short story. John List is best known as a murderer who killed his entire family on November 9th, 1971.
What the fuck?
After shooting his wife, mother, and 3 children, he fled, assumed a new identity, and was not caught until 1989. Some people have speculated that List committed the hijacking when on the run from police. List denied being D.B. Cooper, even as he admitted to the murders.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history, we also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United, and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
Kind of disturbed at the fact that Dad got kind of excited when he said murder his family.
Could you repeat that, please?
No.
And really slowly.
Moving on, number 9, please.
No. Get the holy water.
He doesn't believe in that. Number 9 is Richard McCoy. Richard McCoy was an actual hijacker.
Okay.
He fits the list. He check on that one.
Okay. And out of everybody on that list, I mean, you had a few people on that list that were pretty
hold on.
checked.
We still have 2 more people left. Hold on.
Oh shit.
Check.
In April 1972, he commandeered a United Airlines flight with a hand grenade and demanded $500,000 and 4 parachutes.
Ew.
How the hell did he get on that airplane with a hand grenade?
It's
Seriously.
pre 9/11, bro. Motherfuckers could get away with a lot of shit.
Okay.
Yeah, see, the guy, you're saying that he demanded 4 parachutes?
No.
You just said it was a hijack.
He hijacked.
Oh, yeah, 4 parachutes.
He
Sorry.
hijacked it with a hand grenade and wanted
He
4
said, "Give me a
parachutes."
hand grenade."
Not even give me a hand grenade. He popped out and said, "Give me 4 parachutes."
And
Give me 4
$500,000.
parachutes or I let go.
I'm telling you, if I'm gonna rob anything, I'm not demanding some little shit. Like I'm gonna give me $5 billion. That's what I need.
I don't think they can come up with $5 billion.
This is 1971. No one had that kind of money. Number one, I mean, if you're going to do it, against the. If you're going to do it against the.
I want 1 billion, quintillion, flockazazu, habadoo dollars. Anywho,
No, Dr. Evil.
after a stop for the cash, the plane took off, and McCoy donned a flight suit and jumped out of the plane over Utah. So literally, he did the same shit
Over Utah, though.
over Utah, Space Utah.
What happens to the hand grenade? Did he, let go or something?
I don't know. Just imagine he just threw it out the plane. Somebody's house in Utah got blown the fuck up for no reason.
No, hell no. Hell no. That shit would never have reached that. It's not a
Hearing the
fucking
news,
cannon.
one of McCoy's friends alerted authorities that he had bragged about having a foolproof hijack plan. McCoy, a helicopter pilot, skydiver, and veteran, submitted a handwriting sample that matched the notes used by the hijacker.
So he wrote the same like him.
He was convicted and sentenced to 45 years.
What the fuck?
2 years later, McCoy escaped from prison, federal penitentiary. He was killed in a shootout with the police when they located him 3 months later. Was McCoy a copycat hijacker, or was he also D.B. Cooper?
No, he wasn't. He flew over Utah. There's a huge difference.
Well, no, like he could have done 2 hijackings.
Yeah, you're right.
FBI agents Bernie Rhodes and Russell P. Calamy wrote a book titled D.B. Cooper, The Real McCoy, in which they present their theory that the 2 hijackers were the same man. I'll be honest, it fits. He did the same shit. He literally, I mean...
hijacked the plane for...
And asked for parachutes and jumped out the fucking back.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, too, because he did it with a hand grenade, and this one did it with, pipe bombs or some shit.
Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, number 10 is William J. Smith. Yo, I'll be honest, if I'm William J. Smith, this first line kind of saddens me. Especially if you actually made it on the list that you might be D.B. Cooper. William J. Smith was never an FBI suspect in the case. Now I'm sad if I'm William J. Smith. I was never a suspect, not even a little bit.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why would you want to be a suspect?
Who knows? You know, if you reach that top 10 of the FBI's most wanted, hey, you have something to brag about.
Motherfucker, off of mistaken identity? Your mugshot gonna be...
William J. Smith was never an FBI suspect in the case, but in 2018, an anonymous military data analysis identified him as the hijacker.
Okay.
So an anonymous military data analysis identified him as the hijacker. Okay. The suspicion came through a twisted route. In 1985, Alex Gunther wrote a book called D.B. Cooper, What Really Happened. In it, he claimed that a man named Dan LeClaire confessed to being D.B. Cooper. The book was dismissed as unreliable, but the anonymous data analysis found LeClaire, who died in 1990, and became more intrigued by LeClaire's friend William Smith, who closely resembled the illustration of Cooper. He believes that Smith was the hijacker and borrowed LeClaire's life story, or LeClaire confessed to a crime his friend committed, or not. There is no evidence linking either man to the crime. Okay. And then at number 11, our last one, before we go on to another break, is Walter R. Recca. Walter R. Recca was a paratrooper and claimed he'd been a spy. Carl Lauren published a book last year about his friend Recca. According to D.B. Cooper and me, criminal, a spy, my best friend, Recca admitted to Lauren that he had he was the missing hijacker. Rekka supposedly taped a confession several years before he died and swore Lauren to keep his secret until after his death. In those years, Lauren never considered talking to the FBI. The case of D.B. Cooper is the only unsolved case of airline hijacking. While the case is officially terminated, the FBI is willing to examine any concrete evidence towards solving the mystery. However, just knowing someone that must have been Cooper is not what they consider concrete evidence. It's very possible that we may never know who jumped out of the plane in 1971.
Da-na-na.
Da-na-na-na.
I gotta say, I'm not one for like criminal activity, but that is kind of badass. Just jumping out the back of a fucking plane.
Like, yo.
Jumped, bro.
Legit committed all the way for that.
Well, you have to. There's no other getaway at like if the plane's landing, it's either you're blowing the plane up or
you're gonna die with it.
Yeah, and you're gonna die with it, or you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, damn.
Or you jump out of an airplane and take your chances with a parachute that you may or may not know how to use.
I mean, he might know how to use it. If he's a paratrooper.
If he
I'll be honest, there was 3 people on this list. I'd be like, yeah, I could see him.
I think the second guy that you mentioned was like the most.
Number 2 would be
the most convincing because he worked for the airline.
Kenneth Christensen. Yeah,
he was the most convincing.
I'll be honest, and the one guy that actually, hijacked a plane and did exactly the same thing.
In Utah, that motherfucker was mad convincing.
I'm telling you.
Too.
Yeah.
It could be those
It was one
two.
of those two. We should work for the FBI.
We should do the FBI, the podcast.
I don't think they would let that.
No? Okay. We're going to go to a short little break here. We will be right back.
Hey, New Jersey and Pennsylvania. If you need a professional photographer, then we here at Green Arrow Media recommend Captured Moments by Danielle. Professional headshots, school pictures, family, holiday vacations, you name it, she can shoot it. She even does engagement photos as well as boudoir shots for both women and couples. So if you're located in New Jersey or Pennsylvania and you're looking for a professional photographer, remember to contact Captured Moments by Danielle at www.capturedmomentsbydanielle.com. Green Arrow Media has partnered up with StepUpWellness.com. Are you looking for a program to help support a healthy lifestyle? It's never too late for a healthy change, believe me. Today is your lucky day. Check out StepUpWellness.com. It has over 500 different products to choose from, all with your health in mind. They have supplements and vitamins, protein bars and shakes and powders and drinks. Anything that's going to go into your body to make you feel better and live better, StepUpWellness.com has it. If you're in the market for online health, wellness, and fitness products, then look no further. Go to StepUpWellness.com today.
And we are back from our short little break. Now, I know, Dad, you have some things, but I honestly, me and Eric solved the case in the previous thing. So
Get to me. I go to fuck home now.
Good
Good night, folks.
You live here.
Good night. I'm
You
waving.
live here.
Yeah, we
fuck,
solved
I
it.
do.
So
Yeah.
so go on. Go talk about your little.
It's not much. All I can say is, you know what? After 50-some years, this thing is still has a life of its own. It's been intriguing to people, and everybody likes a good mystery. It's been on, various TV shows. Everybody claims to have solved the case, including you two nitwits.
We did.
Okay. All right. The thing
Mr.
is,
Christensen, we're coming after you.
the thing is this much, and I think it goes back to what Joshua said during the break here. It takes a special kind of guy to have a pair of, cojones, as they say.
Cojones.
Whatever.
Cojones?
Okay, but is that a ball?
Do you guys have a big cojones? Where are my cojones at?
Dad, I've known you for over, 15 years now? I don't think I've ever felt insulted by your fucking statements until now.
What the fuck? I don't know.
Hola to all my cojones out there in podcast land.
Oh man, that's
I just want to say to the people who are listening, okay, you know what? Yeah, this is tough. This is hard to do. This is ridiculous to do. To dealing with this shit week after week with these nitwits. Anyway, like I said to all your cojones, It takes a special kind of guy to do this. You know, I mean, you're jumping out of a plane. You don't know if you're going to land. You don't know if you're going to be able to spend that money that you just ripped off.
That
you have no
motherfucker
clue.
didn't care if he was going to land, obviously.
Okay, so you know what? A big shout out to this guy.
What?
A big shout out to him for having the balls to do it. And you know, I
Be
don't.
the
I,
only sky pirate to get
I
away
don't.
with it, bro.
You know, I don't sit here and condone. Criminal activity. But if you're going to do it, if it's worth doing right. And apparently this guy, either he did it all right or, you know, he just died and the money went missing or whatever. Now, let's not forget, too, that when this guy jumped, where he landed, right after he landed or a couple years later, you had the Mount St. Helens explosion that kind of decimated that entire area. So if he did get out, and he changes, and he changed his identity, or he was a woman, or whatever the fuck you want to say. Okay.
Shout out to Barbara.
He basically, the money might have been buried somewhere, and some of it was washed up in the river up there, and you know, the Mount St. Helens happened and just destroyed everything. Now, it doesn't mean that we know who he is or whatever that, but there's a lot of credible theories. I mean, you can actually link this guy to the Zodiac killing in San Francisco. You know, so there's so many different
all the ass.
There's so many theories to this. I mean, we could read them all night, but the point is, he got away with it. It was never solved, and it's just going to keep. It's going to keep going because it's never going to be solved. How can you solve something like this? You can't.
Me and Eric did, so it's all good.
It's physically impossible to solve this. Okay, they thought they had a DNA match on the tie clasp, but they couldn't figure out if the tie clasp was actually his. So, again, you're never going to solve it. So
you know what our FBI undercover name is going to be?
No, you can't say it. It's classified.
Oh, okay, but I was going to say
no.
Well, anyway,
the eater and the weeder.
Oh
that's kind of basically all I got on that.
I mean, the whole fucking undercover situation, bro. They gonna come for us.
That's gonna be our new podcast, bro. The eater and the weeder.
No, that just sounds wrong.
Okay. Anywho, yeah. So this is what our season's gonna be like, people. If you don't like this episode,
everybody that listens to it, they're not gonna tune in no more.
If you don't want to listen to this episode, you're fucked. Anywho, but no, listen. I think two commercials. I think we're good with. So we're gonna close this episode out because it's not a lot to go on, but I think we had to talk because it's unsolved mystery. That's the theme of our season: unsolved mystery.
Yeah, they're never gonna solve this one. So.
You're never gonna solve DB Cooper, even though me and Eric did. It's
so
all good.
Worth talking about since we're talking about unsolved mysteries.
Well, I know, that's what I said.
Anyway,
listen to what
do
I
we have
said?
a preview of next week's unsolved mystery?
Next week's unsolved mystery is called Living Statues.
Oh,
Living Statues. Actually, it has a kind of a what is that? Not mythical. It's more like a
gothical.
Gothical. I've never heard that word.
Okay, I'm just
That
throwing out
tickled
words.
me.
You apparently don't know either, so don't bust my balls.
No, it's not mythical. It's supernatural. That's what
supernatural.
It has a supernatural tone to it. It's an unsolved mystery with a supernatural tone, and I think that's more of what this season is about. And DB Cooper has nothing to do with supernatural, but it's an unsolved mystery.
Right.
Yeah, but that's going to be a tone of our season. Unsolved mysteries. We all like unsolved.
Well, we're going to
mysteries
break
here.
even every once in a while. It's something different. Just
well, I know. We got to do
time.
more because I know you want to talk about the coronavirus documentary that we watched.
Well, I want to
the
talk
other
about the coronavirus again, and not in the situation that we did last time. There's something else that I'd like to bring up to the table, but we can do that in a couple of weeks because it's pretty important, and people have to open.
And we have to update our people about Ghislaine and her trial.
Yeah, well,
because she's about to blow the load. Excuse me. Wow.
Whoa,
no.
wait a minute.
She's about to blow the door open with names. That's what she said. She's got to give up some names.
Well, let's see. I don't believe any of this shit. I'm sorry. To me, it's all hyperbole because you never see it. You never see it. Trump got in. He was going to put Hillary in prison. What happened? She's still free. Okay, this is the shit. Everybody talks and talks and talks, but nobody does a goddamn thing.
Welcome to United States
and that's
politics.
Both Republicans and Democrats. It's bullshit from day one. Sorry, folks.
No, I agree.
Very frustrating right now.
Yes.
He agrees. Eric,
totally
you agree?
agree.
He's shaking his head. But, so, we are going to end this episode. Next week is Living Statues. I don't know if it's going to be on Thursday or Saturday. We don't know yet.
They don't need to know. We're going to post on Sunday like normal.
I don't care. I don't care. I talk to me and the people. We have a connection. All right? There's a connection between me and my fans.
Okay. Can you connect me to a warm place? Because my dick is frozen, okay?
Okay. That's not my problem. Never mind. Anywho, so we're going to close this episode out. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
That's me.
Good night, people.
Good night, guys. And I want to wait until it gets to 40. And we're at 40. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening. Come back next week, please.
Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryu West speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc, or on Twitter at isthisrealpc, or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.